when there's conflict and there's rupture and there's disconnect, usually in the moment, it doesn't feel great. But I think there is a tremendous opportunity to build deeper work relationships and transform what wasn't working. And there's also the opportunity for the relationship to end because it doesn't work.
I feel like what I'm hearing is partly this awareness that like we can sometimes prevent rupture based on our actions and the way that we relate to each other, and that when there is rupture, there's that can impact whether or not we bring our whole selves. And so we're in a place of choice in those moments of, am I going to be transparent? Am I going to be vulnerable and share how this has impacted me, what my expectations had been, what I am hoping for moving forward? How are we going to address this? Or am I going to slowly guard up more and start looking for another job, or start looking for another team to work on? Am I going to slowly write my manager off or my team off and just retreat?
I didn't realize what you're saying. That's not what I was thinking. And I think it's so, no, I think that's so on point of how to proactively avoid ruptures, not avoid conflicts. That's human. We're going to have conflicts, but how to avoid the buildup that I was talking about, right? By being honest with yourself about what your expectations are, what your needs are, what your desires are, and then proactively communicating that, right?
And it takes so much courage.
Right? Which is the funny. So here's the thing for people who might not be familiar with me and Elizabeth. So we're both therapists by training. And so I just want to put that in because this is hard. This is hard for us. And this is what we went to school for. This is what we help other people do, to be vulnerable and share their
feelings.
Elizabeth and I often have colorful texts going back and forth with each other about feelings because it is hard to be that transparent. And really, I think the risk of, if I tell you my expectation, to risk that you will, even if you don't meet it, but that you will honor it, that you won't judge it.
Yes.
Right? That you might say, Tanya, I hear that you want me to respond to your emails within an hour. I understand how important that is to you. I'm not going to be able to do that, but I can do it within 48 hours, within the day. Those micro moments, as opposed to, Tanya, I know you want me to respond within an hour and there's no way I'm doing it. That's ridiculous. It's crazy. I can't even believe you asked me to do that. Right? Like that's the
impossible.
That's impossible. Of like, am I going to be shot down? Especially the bigger the emotional risk in saying what we need and want.
Right. And this is where like who we are as humans like bleeds right on into the workplace, because if in other areas of your life you regularly have that experience of, every time I ask for what I want or say what I need, people tell me why I don't deserve it, or people tell me why I'm asking for too much. Why is that not going to show up at work? Of course it's going to show up at work. But because people are trying to be more professional, it might show up in less language, in more awkward communication, so that you're not even understanding what you're receiving from me, right? Like, and then, or there's more folks that are just stuffing it down and then falling apart after work, and feeling really burnt out and,
and starting to look for a new job.
Yeah.